we've done Clayton County Jail. Now we're going to Chicago, and we're going to the Cook County Jail.
States. Home to around 6,000 inmates, many of whom are heavily gang affiliated, this is a massive correctional facility that has incarcerated some of Chicago's most infamous criminals like Al Capone, John Wayne Gacy, Larry Hoover, and King Von. Currently behind the barbed wire walls, Cook County sheriffs are battling against a serious and invisible drug epidemic called paper strips. What happens is smugglers take harmless looking items like books, court documents, or family photos, and they soak them with synthetic chemicals ranging from cannabinoids to fentanyl, some of which are lethal and lead to overdose deaths. So today, Cook County Sheriff...
Is the shit they dip it, is that PCP? That old school shit? That Ryder used to be smoking on? You know what I'm talking about?
Fight against this problem. And we even see a raid on a high-security cell block that uncovers drugs and homemade shanks. So join us now, but first a quick...
on camera. We get a raid on camera. I see Tommy G always gets us the details, the juicy shit that you don't see on the regular news. That's why I fuck with Tommy G.
Quick word from the sponsor of today's episode. All right, folks. This is Tommy G, Tom Grishesky.
Hey, Tommy G, I already got the heads up about you. You're good.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, folks, we are at Chicago's notorious Cook County Jail, and we're going to be looking into their drug epidemic with the strips, the paper strips. And this is an extremely notorious Chicago jail. I mean, just where we are right now, this neighborhood is hotly contested Little Village territory where we have the Two Sixers, the Latin Kings, Satan Disciples, Maniac Disciples, and all sorts of gangs just all over the place right here. When they lock them up here, the guards have to figure out a way to keep it safe, which is a logistical challenge. This is a place I'm very excited to learn about. We'll bring you in just a moment. All right, back in the paddy wagon again. I can't imagine spending any amount of time in a place like this. To do anything that frequently puts you back behind these walls, to me, is kind of a mind-blowing loop to be stuck on for a human. But I also think it has so much to do with neighborhood, culture, and structure, and influences. That's one thing that if you want to change America from the ground up, we gotta increase fatherhood, we gotta make reading and learning cool, we gotta make cleaning up litter and taking care of the environment cool.
Depending on the population a little bit, it goes up and down a little bit.
So this paper strip drug epidemic has been a big challenge.
Yeah, you know, Tommy, the whole opioid epidemic that hit us about 5 or 6 years ago in this country hit everybody and hit every aspect of society pretty hard, so it was not unusual for it to appear here.
Are conjugal visits allowed here?
No. In visitations in jail, traditionally they occur behind bulletproof glass with little screens to yell through. We've allowed to where people are sitting at tables. Not only like we encourage.
So they don't get no conjugal visits, so I don't think they get to, that's where they get to link up with their chick, right? And do what they do. Damn.
The kids to hug their dad when they get there.
That's huge.
Yeah.
To your right, sure.
So we're going to the basement of Cook County, and apparently it's like a tunnel system under here. It's easy to get lost. This is a behemoth of a building. I mean, to house 6,000 inmates at a time and up to 9,000, just the infrastructure that needs to happen is considerable. You have to remember, a lot of jails are kind of like paramilitary organizations. They have a hierarchy in the guards, and there's a certain way you can walk and talk, and it's almost like boot camp for criminals, bad guys. So which unit are we in right now?
We're in Division 6 down in the basement, and we're heading to the mail room.
And this is known as kind of medium security area?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hey, bud. Good seeing you.
So this is seized paper strips.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the major problems, was two things. One, a lot of the stuff we were getting wasn't traditional narcotics. And so a lot of testing didn't show much, because originally when this first hit us, they were using stuff like rat poison. They were using...
People were smoking rat poison?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not only is the substance easy to smuggle, but it's a Russian roulette of a drug because...
Rat poison? Fuck. Damn, what the fuck that even do to you, bro? Like, what the fuck do rat poison, how you doing? Like, what hallucinations? I feel like that might put you in a state of, you ain't never coming back. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you get stuck, you get up there, and you just stuck there. Like, I'm telling you, bro.
Because it's almost impossible to know what you are smoking. For example, there are reports of this paper drug being delivered coated in toxic compounds like roach spray and rat poison. Now, folks, the most common chemical application on the strips is synthetic weed, which is also known as K2 or spice, which as a high school kid in Illinois in the early 2010s, I experienced this stuff firsthand. It is an incredibly intense high that sometimes resulted in me having to lay down and basically hallucinate for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the experience. And this is just another dangerous aspect of the strips because it can leave the intoxicated inmate.
I ain't never smoked no spice, but I do know that shit gets you fucked up. But I know you hit that shit one time and it fuck you up. Like, you just leave it back. You feel me? You can't smoke like regular dope.
Incredibly vulnerable to being attacked, or in the case of what's happening in Georgia state prisons, tied up to be extorted for money. And so now Cook County sheriffs face a tough catch-22. They can either continue to allow physical paper documents through the mailroom, which civil rights advocates would say is a protected First Amendment right, or like other jails and prisons, they can completely ban mail altogether and force inmates to receive digital copies of communication.
So none of those things would hit if you test them because they aren't illegal substances. We test enough of it just to know what it is people are trying to sneak in these days. And it's now like different variations of cannabinoids that they're doing that keeps changing. We put so much time and energy into this thing, buying machines, not just dog sniffing, because none of the traditional stuff worked. We added all this stuff, but then we opened up all sorts of criminal investigations of people bringing it in.
This month, a corrections officer was accused of agreeing to smuggle in drug-soaked papers in exchange for $2,000.
Outsiders, insiders bringing it in, the whole 9 yards, and in doing it, one of the
They ain't never gonna stop. They always gonna find a way. There's always gonna be somebody willing to make a little extra pay. You know what I'm saying? So this shit ain't never gonna stop. Shit ain't never gonna stop.
Times we did it, we did a search warrant, got in the house and found all these things that this guy was using to make these compounds, and with it he had like his formula that he was doing.
Yeah, this is some mad scientist.
Absolutely. And he was sending it out to other people too. He'd take money for it. A sheet this size would go for at least $1,500.
While filming another story I'm working on covering the programs offered to inmates within.
Motherfuckers in prison on some Breaking Bad, Walter White remixing the shit, sending out testers. You feel me? They dipping whatever and whatever, and just dishing it out the seeing if it, you know what I'm saying? If it shake, they gonna keep making more, and the police just can't keep up with this shit. Like, wow.
Cook County Jail. I got to speak with some of the inmates about the strip epidemic, and here's what they had to say about it. Strips a drug people do on the streets, or is that like a jail and prison only drug?
I think it's like a jail and prison only drug.
No one's doing that in the streets, right?
No, nobody doing it in the streets, because it's like, and here you really can't get what you get in the streets. So.
And what do you think motivates people to do strips?
I think some people, when they start doing strips and everything, I think some people just be bored because jail just is like a repeated thing.
And that's why programs like this are so important, because it takes some of the boredom out of jail?
Yes, sir.
What do you think motivates the guys doing the strips to do them?
Some people don't see the light. Some people feel like they never coming home. Some people have drug addictions prior to coming here, so it's a substitute.
Te puede matar en algún momento, te pone como estuvieras borracho.
Como un zombie?
Sí, te pone como un zombie.
Now we're about to be on our way to an active raid happening, where we go through a cell block and see if there's contraband in the units.
Y'all got denim? Hold on. On the website, y'all? Ain't no way you guys are a print-on-demand company. Come on now. Be special logo. Insane. What? Hey, stop playing, man.
And now we're walking through legendary doors here. Anyone that is in the streets in Chicago knows about Cook County Jail. And famous rappers have been behind bars here. King Von, Little Dirk. So we're walking into, I think it's a briefing meeting for the guards before they do the search.
All right, we're going to Delta Jack, right? You guys already know with our pre-briefing, half in the front, half in the back. Everybody hits the floor. No deviation from that. Everybody hits the floor. Everybody gets.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
It's cuffed. When they hit the floor, make sure that you're observing, right? Make sure nobody's fiddling with anything in their waistband, trying to ditch any contraband, weapons, whatever. Cuff them. Once everybody's cuffed, a couple of you guys break off upstairs. We'll make sure the bathrooms upstairs are. Everybody gets a good pat down. They're going indoor rec. Be safe. You guys know who your partners are. Where your partner goes, you go, okay? Nobody's alone. But we gather information through various avenues to determine who has the contraband. Which person, maybe it's not on person, maybe it's under a sink, maybe it's somewhere under a water closet, somewhere they have easy access.
Somebody keistered it. They keistered. Maybe somebody keistered it.
That's how we get it, and we narrow it down. All the information together. Like, okay, I heard it from here, we got it from here, we got it from here. It's all linking up. Then we go hit it.
All right, here we go. You always feel the excitement in the air before a raid. These officers are getting ready to launch a full-scale blitz on a maximum security unit. In order to overwhelm and quickly subdue every single inmate, they are going to sweep the pod from 2 different entry points with the goal of no inmate being able to have the time to hide contraband or flush drugs down the toilet. Let's see how this goes down. You think the inmates know you guys are coming?
It's 50-50. We usually don't hit it this late, so it might be a good chance that they don't think we're coming. Okay.
They got their hand on their bench. They got TommyG right this shit. It look like somebody dropped their shit.
They got everyone on the ground. The first step is securing everybody.
Hey, this right here, blow me. Damn, you over here minding your business. They come in this bitch. I mean, shit. It's not like it's your crib anyways, but still, fuck.
And to not know when this is going to happen, that at any moment throughout the day, they can come in, rush you,
All right, this shit will blow me.
and start the search. If you're on the side of smuggling, you have to stay on your toes at all times. What are we looking at so far?
So you have a shank made out of a screw. And then here you got what we call roaches, right? We haven't opened it up yet.
That's fine.
This was laying on the ground, this was laying on the ground.
But you think that's strips?
So usually, typically, yeah, each roach will contain multiple strips.
What's this?
This is basically what it is cellophane that's rolled, right? And they roll it until it gets really hard. And what they'll do is they'll stick it like in a sock, they'll tie it into it, and they'll use it as a weapon. Here it's a magic shave cream, but it's filled with feces.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's a weapon, a biological weapon?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's that Glock
What
dookie
would
they
be
be
the other
talking
purpose
about.
of
Oh my
filling poop in
god,
that?
fuck no. That is filled with all shit. I was just through again. How the fuck you shit in that little ass bottle, bro? How you do that? So you telling me somebody just loaded it up like a fucking gun? Lord have mercy. Oh my goodness.
What I like to think is I feel like we've been doing pretty well recovering weapons, right? So this is like their last resort.
Okay, so right now behind us, one by one, every single inmate is being searched, and a search is an unpleasant experience. I mean, some of these guys are getting their shoes taken off, socks taken off, they're getting felt around the groin area, the most common smuggling areas. Another shank.
Yeah. This is a wick.
That's out of toilet paper?
I believe this is toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. So what they do is they'll light one end of it. This is what they use to start, light up fires. Or roaches that you saw earlier, these, that's how they light them up.
One thing to highlight, look, so this is made out of a hailer, a medically necessary piece of equipment, but if abused can be turned into something that can stab somebody. And this is the fine line that a jail has to operate, is human freedoms, healthcare, danger. Another thing to note here is I was curious how the segregation might work, but I do see Latinos, blacks, mixed. Some jails racially segregate, some do it by gang, some do it by age, some do it by level of danger to society. But how you sort people is a recipe that can either make safety or danger depending on how you do it. A logistical question that every jail has to think about. So anyone that is wearing a green jumpsuit, it's apparently because they've either indecently exposed themselves or got caught masturbating.
We tell everyone not to search the day room, especially when there's none of these guys present. These individuals, if there's stuff hidden in the toilets, under the toilets, the main thing with that is this is priority. Clearing the tier, making sure all of them are gone. If there's a weapon or some drugs in that toilet, it's not going anywhere.
Does each guy have a bathroom in their cell too?
Yes. Yes.
But this is the community room if they're out and about. Are they allowed to have any sort of towel?
No. No, they're shank.
Another shank.
I knew I saw something. Looks like to be another screw. Make sure it's just clear. This is the only division that has these where you can kind of control. Your skin's got to touch it, but see, that's a problem too. If it's not lighting with the skin, that means that it's tampered with.
And what are the implications of this being tampered with?
They could loosen these screws, which allows this to come up, exposing the wires, attempt to light fires, or just conceal contraband in there. I mean, these guys have all day, every day to figure out how to hide this stuff.
Damn.
So we just start from the